Hey, Jose. So I guess I'll start with the car. This is the line you need to run. It comes off the blow off valve and it comes up here. And this is I forget what size it is. I'll look on the thing afterwards. But there's like a little reducer here, and I had a 90 there, but I switched it out because this is the right thing. And yeah, this is 1/4-inch fuel line, and I got these plugs here. I got them on Amazon with the clips. So but so you got to run that. This line comes all the way back, and then you got to add a T here. See, it's a little white little T. And I bought these hose clamps that'll keep it nice and tight, because nobody will see it back here, so it doesn't have to look pretty. I put it so it goes, basically it's not going to go past this check valve. So you're just running the blow off valve straight to vacuum, and then the other line, I don't think you're going to be able to see it at all with the intake manifold or inlet on. It's under the blow off valve. There's like a little, I put a picture on earlier, so I gotta just cat that off with like 1/4-inch rod, because I couldn't really get down there to the bottom of the turbo. So I took the hose loose, and I kept trying to plug it with different things. 1/4-inch rod work, maybe like something with 1/4-inch thread on a bolt or something, and then I clamped that down with one of those, more heavy duty hose clamps, and then zip tied it to some kind of, it was like a little metal bracket. It might be attached to the hose or something down there, just to keep it in place. So that's all blocked off, and then you got to block this one off too. I guess you could just cap it. I found it easier just to cut it, because I couldn't get it off of here because it was like wedged in between these two metal lines. And so I just cut it, and then I stuck the 1/4-inch all thread right up in here, and then I just put a little bit in here, so it's held together by the 1/4-inch rod, and then the clamp here and here. So that, you got to make sure all three of them are blocked off. So, and what you're trying to bypass is, I don't know if I'll be able to get it, that right there. So that's where there's two lines run into that, and then there's a line coming off of that goes into the end and the side of that. That's what you're trying to bypass. But you want to cap everything off so there's no kind of vacuum leak, you know what I mean? So that's that. I think that's about it. And then this is the stuff. I used a T. I use like this T. It says, that's the size of the T I used. And then to connect the two lines, I used this one for the where I spliced in the blow off valve. I put that 1/4-inch line, the 1/4-inch fuel line, and that's the size of the original line. So, you got this thing, and then it was one of these. And then, I use these just on the caps. They fit the caps good. They didn't fit everything so well. You can tell like the little original Honda clips are different size. This is the original Honda. So, but these things fit the big rubber plugs. Bought this on Amazon. I don't know, it was like $5 or something. And then these plugs I bought on Amazon. But they're the same brand that's stuck at the store. That's from AutoZone. And then I use like black zip ties. I got a whole bunch of black zip ties so I could, so you don't see all the zip ties. But anyway, yeah, so that's the fittings. I use this one, which is this. And then this one, which is this, which is a reducer. And this is the T. And the T, the one side going to the manifold smaller, but I was able to shove this side into that far enough, into the rubber tube far enough, and put one of them big hose clamps here so it's not going anywhere. And it's sealed and all, so, and then bolt the 1/4 inch to these two are 1/4 inch, these two. But this one was something smaller, went to the intake manifold. But like I said, I was able to shove it on there about to the second line and put a clamp on there. And everything's good now, I guess. He said, you know, he's fixing the table, mass airflow table, and then he's having me do hard pulls, so I think it's all right. As far as other things you gotta do with the intake manifold or the inlet, I used this off of the Civic Type R. So this is not the original line on the cord that comes with the Civic Type R. Now Joel, he ran probably like one of those 1/4 inch lines from here to here. So you could do that, and then just and then I think he connected the two. This is coolant, so if this when you take this loose, it's going to spray everywhere. I use well, they're smaller than this, but you know, there's a pack of like 4 of these on Amazon or something. They're smaller than that. Let me see. Yeah, here they are. So I use these to clamp this and change this hose out. Unless you're gonna have coolant spraying everywhere. And then this is the hose that comes with this inlet. So you run this hose. It fits on this side right, but on this side it's two. Can you see it? It's 2 layers thick. So I had to put like, I had to cut, I think it's a 3-inch silicone clamp and put it on there, and then put this one over top of it, and then secure it with this nut. So it's 2 layers thick there. But you know, after you do that, it fits well. It was a little off. Like you can see how I rigged it with a bunch of like a pile of washers on the side of that's the mount for the intake. So it's a little further over, closer to the ECU. There's still a gap there. This one I didn't bolt. You know, a zip tie on this. So it doesn't fit exactly right. I would start with that. And then, you know, because I was putting it all together at once. So the intake went on, this box went on last. So, here, I did manage to get it to bolt to the like block. I had to put a washer there under this bolt. And then there's like a big rubber grommet. You gotta switch out from the old one to here. And then the bolt was a little long, so I just put a washer there. Works. This is the coolant hose you gotta run. That worked out pretty well. I think I just cut pieces of hose to fit it from each thing. And then I don't even know if you can see it. Where's the other hose? It's in the back somewhere there. I know it's back there somewhere. It's not leaking, so. I don't know. But there is a hose that goes from here over to here. And then of course you got this hose. So that's the end of the coolant thing. This electrical thing, I took the Civic Type R one and I actually took this plastic piece apart, the cord one, and put the wires in the Civic Type R one. And I had to cut it, and I think there's a cut, and then the wire comes out here instead of up here. And yeah, it was just a lot of making stuff work. I don't know, you could probably just put a big zip tie on the cord one and zip tie it to the freaking to the inlet. That'll probably work. Instead of doing all that, it was a lot of work. Tedious. I hate electrical. But then again, there's that hose. That's the reducer there, and this is a regular clamp that came with it. This was one that came in a kit of clamps I bought. So they're tight now. It's not going nowhere. And then these little plugs. So I think that's about it. I mean, this hose I had to cut and bend and mess with to get this thing to work. So like I said, Joel ran just a hose right from here to here, and then I think he you know, spliced the two coolants together and just ran the hoses. So it's probably a lot easier and looks just about as good. All right, hope that helps. Bye.